I guess just to start off with, a big thank you to everyone that's watching. If you can smash that like button, that does help because we don't put ads on these videos, and so YouTube doesn't like to recommend Nuggets News because we don't make them any money. So yeah, smash that like, leave those comments. Now, one thing, let's talk about some other things that we got going on, like Polkadot, some other cool things that I want to mention. What's going on? Some changes with the business. Um, Comparison about the bull run and where we are. Yeah, we'll touch on that. 1,500 watching. You guys are legends. The donations are starting to come in. Mark, thank you. So you sold some small alts last week. Awesome, guys. Last week and today, I've had so many messages from people saying, can I send you a little thank you? I've made heaps of money. I locked in profits, or I've not necessarily made a fortune yet, but you saved me from losing. A lot of people when they first get into it, it's more about losing money and making those big mistakes. So, it's awesome just to hear stuff like that. Anyway, I've put some, if you do want to send me a little thank you in crypto, which people I do know prefer, because as I said, YouTube takes their big cut out of the YouTube super chats. But there's some Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, what else? Tether, USDC if you've got your stable coins. And if you send me a crypto donation, let me know in the chat and I'll take your questions and that as well, guys. So I'm glad to hear some of you have done really well. Probably my favorite story was one I think I shared. I shared it and then the person asked me to take it down, which is fair enough, even though I de-identified them. And it was someone that was homeless. I've come from a homeless background, and a lot of people still don't understand homelessness doesn't mean that you don't have a phone or that you don't still have some crypto. Some people just lose their job or whatever, and you're on the street or in between places for a little while. And this person had paid for their yearly membership with us, so that was one of the things while they're homeless they got to do was spend a lot of time reading about crypto and whatnot. And that was literally the part of their life and portfolio or whatever they had left that dragged them out of homelessness. So that was a really cool story for someone to have. I'm not sure, maybe a few $1,000 in crypto, pick some good alts, time the market, maybe learn how to do some basic trading, and to turn that into an amount of money to pull you out of homelessness and back to society. If you're watching, that was my favorite story, mate. So well done. And for others, there are a lot of people that have become millionaires for the first time. Even if you don't quite get to that goal, don't let those little things, like fickle numbers, stop you from selling. 900,000 versus a million. Just don't go too crazy with those goals if they're so material like that. For a lot of people, it's not so much the money; it's about what that means, what that allows you to do. The freedom to spend more time with your family, go on holidays, less stress. Money can't buy happiness, but I think if you work hard and you use it wisely, then it can certainly help get you ahead in life and help you be able to help other people. I mean, that's one of the things that I guess I'm pretty fortunate about, is being able to do this and through this help other people. If I didn't make enough money to do it full time and to hire staff and whatever, then I'd have to be at work and I wouldn't be able to make you guys content. So it all helps. So we're going lower again. So whenever we're having these bounces, guys, this is the sort of how you catch the bottom, what you're looking for. Fib tool, you'll often find that a lot of traders are waiting for a higher low to form, and it'll form at around the golden zone here. What you don't really want to see is increasing bear volume and sell volume on the way down here. When we form a bull flag on the way up, we want that big volume on the leg up and then little volume on the way down to create a flag. When we get something that's this long and sort of goes deeper than a flag or a pennant would, and then you've got big volume towards the end of it, that can make it less likely to be bullish. Now, the caveat to that would be if we've got our little kiss of the 61.8% fib here, and then this 5-minute green candle ends up having double the volume of these two, and forms a nice wick at the bottom, that's when you'd start to say, okay, are there enough bulls now starting to step in and say, there's a fair bit of blood in the streets. Let's go high time frame again. The bull market is not over. So that's probably the first thing to say. And when you have a look at some of these parabolas, we haven't even lost, the weekly parabola is still intact. The daily has actually just tapped, pretty perfectly. Or even with the candle bodies, if we finish tomorrow, the daily close might be back up here somewhere or anywhere above here. And again, you can argue that it was just a nasty throwback to clear out all that leverage that I speak about. And I think this has actually gone negative. Have we got any negative funding? I think it was momentarily just before negative funding on Hobby and OKX on Ethereum already. So this market is just so, it turns on a dime with crypto Twitter and all the emotion. Cardano, look, negative funding across the board. Everyone is trying to jump on these alts, and that's what makes me think that this is going to have a pretty strong bounce. Look, everyone is margin long at the top when I'm trying to warn you guys that now is not the time. And now we've had this 40% correction and people are margin short and betting that these things are going to go down. Are you guys starting to see what I talk about? The herd doing the wrong thing. And it's not meant to be condescending. And a lot of you are beginners and you're sitting there going, geez, I probably would have done that. But, just learn from that. And the fact that you're trying to learn from that is the main thing. You're still a beginner, you're still a noob. We all were. But it's the people that don't take the time and they just chase the markets and purely act on emotion. They look at a chart, they see a red candle, oh, that's going down, I'm going to bet it's going down. And that's probably the time it's going to start going up. So once you start to learn the basics of technical analysis and you can just become comfortable with what's going on. So a few other things I'll just mention quickly. The inflow to exchanges, we saw a massive spike. You can set the alerts up on this great service. You guys know that I use it a lot in the group. I'm constantly posting you updates here. But this was the big spike. What was it? 29,000, something like that. So Ethereum, derivative, all exchanges, inflow. We did see a bit of an uptick as well. So yeah. Coins were starting to come into exchanges. People were starting to take some profits yesterday. So there are all those little signs that we always look for. Now, where are we at with stablecoin reserves? Have they been drawn down? That's what we want to know. They have. So people are starting to deploy those stablecoins back into the market. So they've dropped from 8.5 billion to 7.5. So there's been $1 billion of stable coins that were on exchanges now injected or buying the dip. You can think of that as. Anything else to mention there? These guys aren't a partner of the channel or anything official, guys. I'm hoping to work with them in the future. So yeah, that's not a shield. There's no affiliate link or anything, but that's a service if anyone wants to sign up. Other things to talk about. Yeah, let's have a look at ETH next. Same sort of story. Haven't really lost any of these, large time frame parabolas. You can still argue that it's all still intact, even if we draw it a little bit steeper to catch some of these other wicks. As long as we close back up above, here 1560, it can start to look okay. Now, as nasty as yesterday was, that volume's not too bad, really, is it? Even the top, that's not a volume climax marking a top. This is Binance here. So compared to some of these buying days that we had on the way up, this isn't too nasty yet. So let's have a look at Coinbase. Yep, not really, nothing too significant. FTX, see again, that's more traders trading on high leverage. So make of that what you will. BitMEX isn't really that significant these days. And again, high volume, high leverage. Let's have a look at one more exchange. Oh, Kraken. Good old Kraken. They had this crazy flash crash wick on ETH. So yeah, Kraken, really little volume. That's a positive sign. But let's have a look at this wick that's been doing the rounds today. Was it on the USD pair? Yeah. So well done if you had some stink bids on Kraken and you got filled at $700. This happens every cycle. We've seen Coinbase plummet. We've seen, I think it was down to $0 or $2 when ETH was 300 or even higher. So this happens from time to time. We see these cascades on exchanges. I know Kraken are coming to Australia, and they want to offer Aussies, I think, a lot of staking products that our exchanges don't have. So keep an eye out for that. Hopefully do some work with Kraken in the future. But here we are, rolling over again. So that candle we're looking for, not too impressive, but I think there's starting to be some interest there. So the bears don't clearly have the upper hand. It's not bloodbath stuff now. I think we are starting to fight it out. There's going to be a bit of volatility and whipsaw, but I think in general we're starting to look for, what levels are they going to step in. So historically in crypto bull markets, RSI back to 50, the midpoint on the daily time frame is what we look for. And on the 4 hour, we want to get to oversold. And that's where we got to today. We got to 4 hour oversold conditions. Now, this might have a bounce and get that divergence that we talk about, where price goes lower again, but RSI doesn't make a new low. So that could be something like that we have a bounce and then another leg down in the coming days. But oversold on the 4 hour. In a true bull market, that's a pretty generous entry. Worst case scenario for ETH. All right, let's start pumping through some of these questions. So where are we going next for ETH? All right, let's bring up the weekly time frame. So I know that we've had like a massive run, but when you put it in log terms, we've just come back and retested the old peak. So I mean that's pretty crazy in and of itself, isn't it? And we've tested this other block of support. So one thing that I've said in the past is that this, the price run up that we're currently seeing, it's almost like you've got to think about it as a technology adoption rather than the price increase. And from some of the whispers and stuff that I've heard, if BlackRock or Apple get into Bitcoin and more of these companies across the US and then Europe start to get this on their balance sheet, these prices are, retail just can't even handle these prices. A lot of people, remember how we saw in the data that a lot of people, when it went through 10K, sold it like 12, 14, 16, then 20. And here we are already at basically 60. And so a lot of people are going to continue to sell and think that it's going to have a big, nice pullback to buy back in. And even what we've seen today, if that's it, do you know what I mean? It leaves a lot of people always having to chase the markets. And this is something I've spoken about at length in the members group, about having your ticket to the train and making sure that you're on the train for most of the time. And whenever I post my updates about like warnings or, hey, this market's getting overheated now, I'll always say things like, if you're a beginner, the best thing to do is probably nothing, because it's so hard to time markets. Now, if you're a bit of a trader and you want to take some profits, or you want to go into stable coins, or you want to maybe, short or hedge with some options, all those things that I've spoken about and done tutorials on, that's a possibility as well. But as scary as this is kind of how the whales and these markets work. If you're new to this space, before you know it, it will have gone higher than you think, and you wake up this morning and it's had this massive throwback and it's already bounced back up, and you think, oh no, I've got to buy back in now, and then it falls another 30% today, and you panic and you sell again. So all this, when we zoom out, is going to be a little blip on the radar, just like the multiple 40% corrections are now, all through here, all throughout 2017. And that's on log scale. So this is on normal scale. You can't even see these where there was all this panic that Bitcoin was dead and blah, blah, blah. So hopefully you're starting to understand those key messages of dollar cost averaging and all that. Someone talking about Bamboo. The the Bamboo app guys have still got that promo as well. I'm not sure if there's a link in the description, but you've just got to download the Bamboo app and type in Nugget, and you get free Bitcoin, $10, and every friend you sign up, you get $10 as well. So, yeah, Bamboo app. So alts in general, I find it hard to believe that they're going to continue to go up from some of these prices that we're seeing. ADA is a good example here of when something goes from, where are we? November 2020, we're at 10 cents. Next thing you know, over $1. So it has these 1,000% moves, and you can say, well, yeah, it's still fairly early on, but I just can't see how a lot of these are going to have another 1,000% move. Now, maybe I'm completely wrong. We are going to enter the biggest bubble of all time. And I did say that I think that this market will be the biggest bubble. But again, if ADA, for example, not picking on ADA, if ADA goes from 29 billion, that's 290 billion, bigger than ETH. You're starting to get up towards some astronomical numbers. And that's for all of these. That puts the total market cap of all these coins 10. We're at $1 trillion now, so are we going to get to 15 trillion? That's the same as all the, I guess, negative yielding debt in the world. Maybe there's going to be some very rich people if we add another zero and we do another 10x on basically the whole space. A lot of these top coins. That's why you don't have to search too far down the list. Like I say, invest wisely. If you put your money into just the top 10 or even the top 2, you've done unbelievably well. For those of you that haven't listened to this yet, this was amazing. So this is Bankless. This is all about the layer 2s. So how everyone keeps saying scaling is not coming on Ethereum, but we've got synthetics, loopering, Robbie, who we had on the channel the other day from Gods Unchained and Immutable. Like, these guys are all there leading the charge with awesome technology, scaling all the best projects. So give this a listen from the guys over at Bankless, because this probably brings me to the next point I want to talk about, which is Binance Smart Chain and CZ and everything that's been happening there lately, versus Ethereum, and people saying that it's this it's the old Ethereum killers again. Those of you that were around in the last cycle when there was all these Ethereum killers. So it's funny that just like the other day, where Binance have now suspended all these withdrawals of ETH and all the ETH tokens because of the high network congestion. So, I mean, I kind of understand where they're coming from. It's kind of fair enough. They shouldn't really have to pay these huge fees, although they do pass it on to their customers normally. But this is all that competition. I think it's a little bit of fun as well, a little bit of toing and froing. For those that don't know, Binance forked Ethereum, the code base, and created Binance Smart Chain. And all they did was just change a few of the parameters so that there's 21 nodes instead of 10,000 nodes in the Ethereum network. And then you can start to make these compatible apps, basically just copy and paste. And you saw today, I think it was doing the rounds on crypto Twitter, PancakeSwap is just, again, like a copy paste of Uniswap. And throughout the code, they didn't even change the wording. So it says Uniswap all throughout the PancakeSwap code. Now, are they giving people a better user experience because it's cheaper? Maybe, but I just don't know if the liquidity is there yet, and the network effects. Time will tell. I think Polkadot is probably more competition for Ethereum than Binance Smart Chain, but we'll see there. Yes, okay, good point. Next thing to talk about. So what we've had recently is a run in all these coins. So remember back in 2018, I did that video called Best Exchange Tokens, and we spoke about Binance Coin, KuCoin, Buybox, I think. And now we've got Uniswap, then SushiSwap, and all these dexes. So dexes were one of my predictions for like big narratives of this year, and we've had Kyber, we've had 0x get repriced recently, which is awesome as well. But now people are going, well, where can I look elsewhere that's on other exchanges or similar projects? People love a narrative. And so now people are going, well, hey, PancakeSwap, let's go over and have a look at the Polkadot ecosystem. What are all the dexes there? The same with Serum and Solana, and now they're all booming as of today. So Serum. Wow, even in a bloodbath, you've got these coins going up. So that's really, really powerful stuff. The other one, so Ray is like this. It's like a liquidity sort of aggregator that can. It's not even up yet. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So this is one that launched on FTX today. That's like an aggregator, but unlike Ethereum, you can have your liquidity on like 2 or 3 exchanges at once, and it can still aggregate it for you. So that is a really, really cool concept. So this launched at 70 cents this morning. It's already trading at $12. Yeah, that's not right. It launched at 70 cents. Keep those questions coming in, guys, if you like. Bitcoin can't go to zero, no. Cardano outlook. Okay, Cardano is an interesting one as well. I don't know if it's going to be as much competition as people are making it out to be, but let's bring that up. Alrighty, so the thing with Cardano is they've had this massive run in price, but how many dApps and users and dexes, developers, how big is that ecosystem? Have you used a wallet? Yeah, that's the kind of question I have about can you really compete on all those levels now that we've got Binance Smart Chain, Polkadot, a lot of other projects and protocols cropping up. Is Cardano still going to be able to compete? And I know Charles Hoskinson has spoken about the fact that once they create all the developer tools, the language that they've created, and it's going to be easy for everyone that is already a developer to plug in and start to create stuff. So that's the angle that they're going for. For those of you that have been around, do you remember when it was like Neo ran from, was it like 10 cents when it first started to do the rounds in all those Facebook groups? Log scale, 10 cents. Crazy to think about that again now. So 10 cents to $200 in under a year, and it was the Chinese Ethereum, and then we had ICX was the Korean Ethereum, and then we had even Tezos came along and had a massive ICO. So every single one was going to be the next big thing. And that they ebb and flow. Tezos was all the rage again at the start of the year, and then it fell out of favor. Cosmos, now it's Polkadot. Hashgraph. Well, what about EOS? EOS was meant to be, the absolute ETH killer. No one was ever going to use Ethereum because EOS was so much faster and cheaper. They had $4 billion and the biggest branding campaign of any coin, really. And now there's not one app that everyone uses on EOS, is there? So there's a lot more to it than just having the fastest chain. Elrond as well. Let's just mention that quickly. So I wasn't picking on Elrond, and I'm probably going to have them on the channel soon. But when people were saying to me, "Oh, Elrond is different," they're better than everything else. You've heard it all before. And I looked into it, and they were doing this thing called like 100 days of hype, or an announcement every day for 100 days. And when you hear stuff like that, and you see a chart that's gone from whatever it is, $30, or back in November it's $8, and it's gone vertical, it's gone to $200. And I think I posted that chart in the group about a short trade idea at 206. You think, well, what has really changed? And all the influencers are talking about this. So when all influencers are talking about a coin, you want to be careful, because a lot of the time they've all been paid in that coin, but all that hype leads to this chart, and then a lot of them all trying to sell as well, and then the price is only going up because of hype, so it can't fall back on anything. And that's when you get these charts that unfortunately are a lot nastier than the other ones that have built up gradually. So just something to be aware of. Solana's pumping as well. Wow, another monster run. FTT, this is the one that I said was going to become a top 3 exchange. I don't know about number 1, possibly, but I thought they were going to really challenge it, get up there. So we participated at 80 cents was the ICO, and then it launched on it at $1 on day 1. Didn't do a lot, just ground higher, and then all of a sudden people go, oh wow, the bull market's here. FTX is a great exchange. They've got great products. I keep the alts, the mids, the shits, and the DeFi indexes here in my watch list, but some people don't realize they've got a privacy coin index. Privacy coins have had a friggin' amazing run lately. There's the Dragon one. Remember when all those Chinese news announcements came out last year? And so people rushed to the China index because people love a narrative. And there's one other one. Oh yeah, the exchange token index. So exchange tokens are doing well at the moment. But now people are starting to go, well, what are the decentralized exchange tokens that are doing well? 0x has been one of my favorites, one of the first fundamental analysis videos we ever did. And that's, again, just started to get repriced within a couple of weeks. Should we go have a look down memory lane? Look at Polygon and MATIC. I will. And guys, if you want to do a crypto donation or a thank you, there's some donation addresses down below, and I'll take your questions if you do. Let me know what coin you've sent, and I'll give you a detailed reply for those of you that have been doing well. Okay, what were we going to look up here? Bluey and Tractor and the whole, everyone that's logged into my account, all the history here. 0x tutorial. No, fundamental. So for those of you that don't remember, back in the day, I started calling these research pieces fundamental analysis, and it didn't get many views because all these other YouTubers had like either bit or coin or crypto in their name, and we were called Nuggets News, and people were searching for coins that would pump. People weren't searching for fundamental analysis, and so that was a real stretch of time where I was seriously thinking about changing the name of the channel or the title of our videos. But yeah, there you go. So this was kind of getting into the bull market, 24th of August 2017. So prices were low at that stage, 38 cents. But yeah, now up to $1, $2. So let's have a look at Polygon or MATIC. This one's become really important to the ecosystem. Some of you will remember when they had all that, like the FUD and all the crisis and everything that started when they first launched. Pumped and dumped. And it was one that I think we even shorted. We did, didn't we? That first run that it had. Yeah, this one here. Yeah. So it pumped from 1/3 of a cent all the way up to 10x, and then it fell back down. There's all this worry about the developers. But through all that, I guess, BS, they've now become a really mature project, really important to the ecosystem, focus on gaming, focus on scaling. They've now rebranded, they're on multiple chains. So, yeah, I really like MATIC or Polygon. It fits into a lot of those narratives that I've got as the big bullish narratives for this year. So, narrative on Theta token. Look, I don't know a lot about that one, but I like what they're doing. I like the concept. I'd like to chat with the team to ask them about the nuances and the differences, because its own high throughput blockchain for sharing content and rewarding those that are sharing content as well. Is RFox overpriced? RFox got up to, I think, 200 million market cap the other day, so that's kind of in the ballpark of a lot of other gaming projects. Compared to the top of the last bull run. Okay, let's have a look at that. It's its own blockchain, which again, it has those trade-offs, the centralized trade-offs. This makes me think of VeChain a little bit with the T fuel and the Theta token and that. So yeah, compared to the last bull cycle, people are asking for. All right, so this was a long gradual build up. The bull market really started as we exited 2015, and I think Ethereum started the bull run for the whole space really. And then we had that grind higher. And then just this explosive, December, that month, that was crazy, and we probably are somewhere around here if I had to guess. So we could have this run, but that means let's say there's only 5 weeks left in the bull market or 6. That means we're only in March, the first quarter of the year. And if price was to triple, like let's say Bitcoin goes to 200k by March, that's, I don't see us being able to avoid a bear market at that point. If we went that high that quickly, I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. But if imagine going from 4k in March to 200k in a year, like it would be incredible, but it's just not healthy for the space. Maybe we do have a bit of a chop around and then go to 300 or 400. I just don't know. You got to take it one day at a time, and let's look to see if we get this institutional wave of money continue. Because at the moment, I just think Elon was kind of a peak in euphoria. It doesn't get much bigger than that. Maybe BlackRock, maybe an ETF. Elastos used to be in my portfolio. I don't mention it much anymore. They have an ETH sidechain too. Again, it's a bit like Theta. It's not one that I know a lot about. I just like the idea of trying to do those decentralized, anything that's trying to decentralize the web and hardware and data and content I like. So yeah, I'd have to catch up with the team and see what progress they've made. Coin. I haven't heard of this one, I don't think. Dex Tools. Oh, maybe I have. Maybe this rings a bell. Let's have a look at the website. Insured Finance and Super Farm. Look, I know Elio Farms is a pretty smart guy who's been working on Super Farm. It's like an NFT sort of marketplace. And the other one, Insured Finance. I think I covered that on Sunday, if it's the one I'm thinking of. Next token. Based on Uniswap and SushiSwap. Data analysis for trading strategies. Oh, okay. So this is a little bit like a tool for trading on dexes. Okay, yep. Yeah, seems interesting. I'd have to look into it a little bit more. Insured Finance. There's just so many scams. I'm just so cautious these days about all these DeFi projects, guys. That Unistake one that's going around at the moment, a lot of influencers are talking about that. There's the high rewards. I've been talking to the project a little bit, so might do a deep dive on that in future. But Qoin, the scam that got finally taken down, and well, not taken down, but booted out of the Blockchain Australia community today, after I've been trying to tell people that this is a scam for like a year or two. No, it doesn't like it. It doesn't like the Brave browser settings. No, bad luck with that one. Let's have a look on Twitter. Future of digital assets, peer-to-peer insurance marketplace, powered by Polkadot. Okay, yep, no, that looks very cool. I like these ideas that need to get done on Polkadot that have been done on ETH. RGT, yeah, super bullish. This is one that we've done a lot of research on for members. Let's have a look. We covered this one back in November for members. 70 cents, something like that, and now it's $15, $10. So they've come out with a lot of new things recently as well. I'm going to wrap it up soon, guys. It's getting a bit late, but no, I don't think we're going to a bear market. I think it's a pretty big throwback and correction. It's what we need to have. Maybe we have a little bit of a sideways action, a bit of chop. That could be good for alts. I'm not sure, but I think the whole space needs to unwind after all that euphoria, unless we get some catalysts, some big catalysts that can push us higher. So yeah, RGT is another yield aggregator. It's got lots of different tools there as well, using all the protocols that we know and love. And finally, I'm going to mention this one. This is ECOMI. This is another NFT project that's done really well lately. One that we covered way back in 2017. A little bit like Red Fox. All of a sudden, it comes from nowhere. The last 30 days, it's done 7,000%. In the last year, it's done 5,000%. So well done, those of you. Again, let's go down memory lane. ECOMI Nugget Stews. 2 years ago, so we spoke about, this was NFTs when they first started to get mentioned. That's what I should say. So guys, I didn't realize this NFT that I got for my birthday, this was from January 2019. And we had crypto kitties back in 2017 and 2018, but digital art, it didn't really take off till after that. So yeah, I don't know. I might sell this considering that it might be worth a lot. I'm not sure. If there's any of you out there that are hardcore art fans, NFT fans, that would know more about how to value this, the artist is pretty little niche artist. I can't find a lot about. I've been trying to get in contact with them. This is going to be up in the lobby of Nuggets News HQ. The launch party, I think that's going to be on March the 20th. Thanks to everyone that answered the poll in the group the other night. Thank you to everyone that, if anyone sent some donations to those addresses down below, thanks to people that have donated in the super chat. Compound. Buy the dips, yes. Sell those peaks. I know it's tough. It doesn't feel right. It feels awkward, doesn't it? It felt so uncomfortable when I kept saying, sell if you've made profits and life-changing amounts of money, because when there's a pullback or whatever, you can buy back in. You're going to feel so good sleeping at night, or just waiting for the bloodbath to unwind when you know that you can buy more. So look, thank you all, guys. Last one, just quickly, let's have a look at Compound. But I imagine with all these exchange tokens pumping, that it would be doing better than the market in general, but it's not. So unlucky Compound. I'm not sure what they've done wrong to deserve that when everything else is pumping.
Fox, let's have a quick look at it. You guys know that I'm a big fan, but I don't like to talk about it too much because I've spoken about it enough already. But it has had an incredible run in the last, where are we? The last 30 days it's up 500%. So Fox old as well as before the chain split, so don't let that confuse you too much. But from 2.5 cents to it hit 20 cents the other day, I think. Okay, awesome guys. I hope that you heeded my advice. I hope you're learning as we go on this journey together. Big thank you to all our members that are in the platform. We're going to make a lot of changes. We're continuing to look to get off Facebook and even YouTube as much as we can. Look, that's why we spent a year, 6 developers. It took so long to build this app from scratch. But what we have now is something that's ours. So, Collective Shift, it's all powered by Nuggets News content, the different membership tiers, the beginners course. We're about to launch like a beginners corner because we don't want all those beginners feeling like there's nowhere for them to ask questions in the main groups. Research reports, we're adding more on NFTs, we're adding more on Polkadot and these other ecosystems because I know I'm quite Ethereum focused, so we want to bring you the best projects from all the other chains. We're always listening to your feedback, guys. I know some of you, get upset or have a crack or whatever, but we're always listening and making changes. Recently there was a Facebook bug, so when people were getting their posts declined, we were giving feedback, but people weren't seeing that because there's a Facebook bug. And so we thought we were giving people feedback. They thought we were ignoring them and deleting their posts. People were getting angry. We're going to come up with a resolution to all these different problems. So guys, you're all legends. Again, donations down below because so many of you are telling me that you're millionaires and that you want to send me a little thank you. So that's all much appreciated. Look, it all probably ends up going back into the community in some way, shape or form or another. Wow, that chat is on absolute fire. Boy, oh boy, is that all spam? Must be. Okie doke. Have a good night, guys. I'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Over and out.